Welcome to the Marry Your Best Friend podcast. This is episode 2 of season 2. I'm John Stewart, and I'm seated next to my beautiful bride of 34 years, Suzanne. And well, one of us gets to do all the housework.
Gets to do the housework.
Yeah, like G-I-T-S, gets.
Gets to do it because it's super fun.
Do you think it's fun, housework?
I do not.
All right, well, this whole episode is about sharing tasks in a marriage and, well, any shared living situation, I guess. Because you lived with other people before you married me. How does that make you sound?
Just my mother.
And your roommates in college.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Shelley.
So, yeah, we are going to talk about...
I was not great that freshman year. She'd get very frustrated because I was not tidy.
Oh, really? Shelley was tidy?
Shelley is so tidy.
Really?
Yes, to this day, like very tidy. And I am not.
Never knew that. So
I'm tidier, more tidy now than I was then. And I told you earlier, I said, I feel like you're trapping me on this topic. Yeah.
No, I'm not trapping you at all.
I feel like you're gonna possum me into a corner, and then I'm
okay.
Gonna
There's
get
another
mad.
Texas term, possum you into a corner, but
and I'm gonna get mad, and then later on, it's not gonna be good for business.
Well, I
here
have
at the
to.
Stewart Farm.
I think you think that I'm laying a trap. I'm not laying a trap. Most people who are listening to this, the fact that our subject is about doing all the housework, would think that I'm setting my own trap because we're going to talk about housework in our household.
Yeah, I know,
stuff of that nature.
but you're gonna weasel in about
I'm not
how
weaseling,
much,
and I'm not possuming or any other kind of varmint that you're going to use in a.
You're throwing a rodent into the ring for sure tonight. I know it.
I don't think so, but I want to let you know the reason why we're doing this. Our producer brought us this subject matter, and
the talent was not super happy about.
No,
this
but
subject.
this is one of the top things couples fight about. Right up there with money, sex, communication, infidelity, all kind like things that are huge stressors.
We have definitely had more arguments about these type of things than we probably have had.
But literally, people argue more about
anything
housework
else.
and shared tasks than they do like money and sex.
I'm telling you that
communication,
we are those people.
Well, the main reason why I wanted to go ahead and schedule this podcast like next, when our last podcast, we've had a little bit of a break from our last podcast. We were so excited to start season 2 in February, and then it's been like over a month since we've done a podcast.
Yeah, stuff happened.
The
season started.
Yeah, the IndyCar season started. Yay. We've had travel, all kinds of stuff. But the biggest thing is you're not wearing a sling.
Yeah, look at me. I'm free.
You are going through physical therapy now. You're working on your shoulder.
But I cannot do all the things, and that's still we're still navigating that whole like mom can't do everything.
Yeah. But the reason why I originally wanted to have this topic was
because y'all were helping.
Yeah, I stepped up a little bit during your injury. Like I
y'all did help a little bit.
When you mean y'all, are you?
The kids helped a little bit.
Oh, I thought you were addressing my pronoun of choice, they, but. were.
That's what you will be at the end of this podcast.
No,
probably.
We're going to talk about sharing tasks. And when you did get injured, much to the surprise of your girlfriends, I actually stepped up and helped a little bit.
And stayed home and canceled some things.
And did all kinds of things. So we're going to talk about.
You followed my list pretty closely.
Right.
And here's the thing: you are more tidy than I. I'm not as anal as you, actually, I think is a better representation of that. Things just don't bother me like they bother you. Like I just, it'll be there tomorrow and probably the next day. And if you clean it up, Lord knows it's going to come back.
Once again, you're treating this like I'm trapping you into something, but I'm not trapping you.
I'm telling you, okay, I am
just
the
relax.
chicken in the chicken house just waiting.
No. Just relax. We're going to talk about sharing tasks. We've been married 34 years. I mean, literally, we're 2 or 3 months away. What is it, April? Yeah, 2 months away from our 35th anniversary. Over
Holy
35
cow,
years.
I didn't realize. Yeah, I guess
Over
so.
35 years, we've learned how to share things, and there are certain things you do, and there are certain things that I do. And before we get started, I want to talk about.
I do think, though, let me say this to your credit, is that we did acknowledge the fact that it is too hard to do what we do with one person. So when I was laid up, it wasn't just that you were just doing my stuff. You were doing your stuff too. Like you were still working. And it's just too hard for one person to carry the load for the entire family. So you did it both. I mean, you did both things when I couldn't. And I just want to go on public record here and say thanks.
You're really thinking that I'm going to hit the hammer here, so I appreciate that. No, we've had a lot. I mean, those that know us, if you follow us on social media or just know us and we call you when we're in a panic about things. Since our last podcast, we lost one of our animals. Our dog Cowboy
sweet Cowboy.
Was Suzanne's dog, I would say, because Cowboy literally was at your feet all the time. And if you ever heard us pause the podcast,
that's because I had to go
he was usually barking. He was usually barking in the other room. But as life on the farm, though, then the following week, our cat. By the way, when somebody gives you a free animal, especially a free cat, nothing is free.
Nothing is
because that cat was walking a little.
Cat is living its best life, but she be a hoe.
Yeah, that cat's back legs were a little low, and so $300 later at the vet, they told us $500 later.
$580.
There you go. Thank you for telling me that. $580 later, we found out that she's okay. She's just pregnant.
And wounded and has to come in the house now because she's a barn cat. So she has to come in the house, have antibiotics.
Free barn cat was $580
in the daughter's room, and
now
babies.
she has 5 babies.
5 babies. So we've gone from no cats to 3 cats to 8 cats.
Yes.
And then one of them now is in vet jail because he's done something to his tail and is going to have surgery. And I do wish
surgery.
That these are barn cats.
Yeah, if you do not follow Suzanne on social media, please do so because she has been doing videos of the cats. We have
they're so cute.
There's 2 brothers,
babies.
Hunter and Scout.
Those guys
from
outside.
Sharon's first. So our cat's name is Sharon, and Sharon's first litter with us yielded.
With us, yeah.
Sharon
this
already
is
had
her third.
Yeah, this is her third litter.
She's
a little sleazeball. She disappears and
she's getting surgery right after
she's working the pole. But anyway, so she gave us Hunter and Scout, which are 2 really adorable cats. But when Sharon came in the house, they started hanging out in the back door, and they literally every morning they're knocking on the back door, looking in the window,
they pawing
at it.
Yeah,
and Julianne,
they want in so bad.
Julianne has called them the Jehovah's Witnesses because they won't go away, and they knock on the door
every day.
Yeah, and so she comes down and says, "Oh, how are my Jehovah's today?" And but anyway, so. Now we have 8 cats here. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not really cat people, but hey, what do you know?
We're learning.
New life. Yeah, new life here at the farm. So a lot's been going on. So let's talk about this episode. So we're talking about sharing tasks. We are both products of our parents. My mom and dad and your mom and dad raised us. Talk about how you were raised.
Completely different households.
Yeah, but we were both,
And you completely different from your brother and sister. I mean,
That's true. My
that is a whole different ballgame.
But let's talk about you first.
Let's talk about me. About me.
Being raised in Big John and Theta Hall's household. How did they share their housework?
you just digging a little.
No, I'm just asking. How did they share their housework?
You know how they shared a household. My dad did jack.
Your dad traveled and made a living.
Watered the grass.
Oh, he did water the grass
with a hose, and we had a sprinkler system.
I just have a picture of your dad standing in a swimsuit with no shirt. With the hose.
That was my dad all the time. He'd water that grass.
Why didn't he use
water
the
those
sprinkler
bushes.
system? Because
He
used
did
too much
that
water?
too, but it was relaxing to him. So he mowed the grass when he was home sometimes, but Mom usually did that on the riding mower. And then he did that, and he went to the cleaners, and he came home late for dinner.
Okay, well going to the cleaners. That's a task that somebody has to do.
And the post office, but the post office didn't belong to us. That was just his thing.
He wouldn't bother, but he was always late for dinner.
He did nothing at the house. Ever. When they got divorced, I had to teach him how to load the dishwasher because he was going to be by himself.
Yeah.
How to load the dishwasher, how to put a load of laundry in.
He didn't know how to do it.
How to clean a toilet.
He never did that, did he? Needless to say, your dad got remarried pretty quickly. And we had Lita. So Lita came every week for pretty much my whole childhood. We had Mrs. Pound first. And then Lita came and was there till we got married. After we got married, probably. When we moved back into your parents' house.
Kate, yeah.
Yeah, we moved back in and Lita would go, "That dog's been in the trash."
We had a dog who
Lita,
get the trash
Lita was just part of your family.
All the time. Yeah,
Lita
she
part
was.
Of your family. But, okay, so your dad, my memory of your dad, though, was, I guess, some people would consider it chauvinistic today, but he would sit at the table and just expect for the food to be brought to him.
And he would clink his glass
if his iced tea was
out,
empty,
or his ice was low, or he would say, this makes my dad sound terrible, but
your dad is an awesome man.
He was a product of what he saw in his family. You know, his
where
dad
women
was,
respected their husbands.
Where women just did what their husbands said, and they just expected
I will
it
say,
to be that way.
Yeah, but I will say when we moved to Indiana, Southern evangelicals are a little more supportive of the traditional roles of wives
Not
and
even
husbands.
evangelicals, just
Southerners. And then we moved to Indiana, and there's a little more liberal bent to some of the women up here. And I remember
Not
one of your
everybody
friends
gets dinner cooked.
Yeah, I remember one of your you want to tell the story about one of your friends standing in the kitchen?
My best friend, her favorite story to tell is when
This best friend Denise.
Yeah, when the very first time that she met you, she hadn't even met you before. That's how now mind you, we have been friends. Our children,
we met in Cub Scouts, and I introduced her to you.
Yeah, but our
She didn't know
girls are 20 right now, okay? And they met when they were in pull-ups. They were probably 3.5. No, not even that. They were 2.5, maybe 3. Julian's a little older. And we've been the best of friends for all these years. But the first time that she met John, she came over here, and Hannah had been over here, and I kept Hannah in the day sometime, and she was just talking to me, and I was just cooking dinner just like I always do. I was just doing my thing. And we had already eaten, and I knew he was going to be late. And so unbeknownst to her, I had put his plate in the oven, you know, just to stay warm because I know he's going to come home. So we're in the kitchen just chit-chatting, da-da-da-da-da. John comes in. Denise is John, Denise, da-da-da-da. I never stop talking. I never break. You know, I just reached down, still talking, opened the oven.
Pull out a plate of fried chicken.
Pull out a plate of
beans.
food, handed it to him, and just kept on going. And she just watched every move. She went, "What did you just do?" That's his dinner. And she said, "You cooked dinner, and then you kept dinner for him and kept it warm, and then pulled it out for him, and you're okay with that?" And I was like, "Well, yeah. Why wouldn't I be okay with that?" So it's a little bit of a cultural difference here in the Midwest.
She wasn't used to preparing, or I mean, her.
But she also worked,
but her husband
full-time
doesn't get
job,
dinner
and I
when he comes
don't.
in late and stuff. But I think the lesson there is to marry a Southern woman. But I think we get the picture here. Your mom pretty much did everything around the house. You did have,
and she taught me how to do it, because even though I was going to say this, we had Lita come once a week. Mm-hmm. My mother would get me up on a Saturday, and I don't care if Lita had been there the day before. I collected all the dirty clothes and did the laundry, washed, dried, folded.
From how old?
Oh, I don't even remember until, I've been doing it forever. I did it forever. I was old enough to carry it in there and understand what to do. She had me dust, and I don't care if it had just been dusted. She had me do it. She had me clean all the bathrooms, and it was a big ass house. I'd clean all the bathrooms, and she showed me how to do it and to do all that kind of stuff. And then when I went to college, I was a mess. I was really a hot mess, but I was very clean. I would go in and clean the bathroom, like scrub it and do all that kind of stuff. I always did my laundry and changed my sheets. People may have had things picked up, because remember, we had room check. They would come in and they would check your room. Oh, yeah. Every Tuesday, they would come in during chapel.
This is at the Evangelical University?
At the Evangelical College, yes. They would come in and they would check your room. And if your room was a hot mess, you got a demerit or something. I don't remember. But you got in trouble, and you couldn't do something, or your curfew was earlier or something like that. So Shelley was very, tidy. I was clean, but I was a hot mess.
Okay, so your mom pretty much did everything. Your mom also instructed you and made you get out of bed. Did she also make your brother do the housework like that? Did she get him out of bed, or was this something that she automatically said?
He had to do the outside stuff. He had to mow the grass.
So from a very young age, your mom is communicating to you that the inside of the house is your role and the outside is your brother's?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So
I was allergic to everything though, because I couldn't work outside.
yeah, so in my mom and dad's situation,
Surprise, surprise.
my mother is a total purger. Like if something's been laying around for too long, she throws it away.
Like 30 seconds.
Like 30 seconds. I mean,
If
it's
you
like
put
it's
your
in the
glass
trash.
down and
It's
you're
gone.
not literally putting it to your mouth,
Yeah.
it's done.
My mother loved to clean house. My parents, when they retired, didn't have that much stuff to move because every time they moved, they purged and got rid of stuff. You know, so and my dad, and then on my dad's side, he always liked new things too. So he liked new furniture. New
Yeah,
things.
he never understood our love for antiques.
Well, until he got later
old
in life,
things.
and then he started passing stuff our way.
Yeah, but he would always say, "Why do you want?" Like he hates the wall. He hated the wallpaper in our kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
He would ask me all the time why we had that wallpaper, and I said, "Well, Gramps, it's because I love it and it suits the house.
Yeah, it's from the 20s or whatever.
It's very, you know." Actually, no, this is from the 80s.
Okay. Either way, it's
Early
like older
80s, but it's
Victorian.
representatory of
Yeah,
the
representation.
20. Yeah,
So-
representational.
So my father, my mother took care of everything in the house. We did not have. She is avid about about cleaning. So we never had a maid on a weekly basis or anything of that nature. I remember my friends that did have maids. I was always like Eric Keltner. He had a maid like every day, like 5 days. So like when you went to the locker room, his clothes are always folded and his socks and everything.
What, the maid would do that?
Oh yeah, wash and fold, and he would just pull it out of his bag, and there's his like really nice.
Wowzer.
And my mom did everything, but she was really clean. She liked that kind of.
She's
stuff.
a little OCD when it comes to
she
that.
was.
Yeah.
Now my dad did take care of everything outside. He took care of
Yeah.
the lawn. He took care of the painting of the house. It was always funny to me that.
Man, until he just couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was always funny to me that my dad always seemed to paint the house whenever a relative was visiting. Like his mom would come and he would be like, "Oh, I got to paint the house. Got to do it right now." And he was always out of the house doing that. But the funny thing is about my parents, though, when they aged, my dad retired, he took over all the cooking. And then they did bring in a maid to clean once a week.
But
And-
they cleaned
and
before
Dad
the maid
would,
came.
Dad would always clean the house, pull the beds,
he would
do everything
legit,
before the maid would
vacuum
get there.
before she came.
Yeah, and I mean, it's my mom doesn't know we do a podcast, but my mom is cheap. She was the cheap one. She always hoarded her money. She had some separate money from Dad and always kind of managed that. But she was so cheap. But Dad would always whenever she would pay the maid, he would go behind it and slide her some more money.
Yeah.
So whenever he was dealing with his cancer and stuff, he would always be like, "John, there's $100
Don't forget
bill.
that for Priscilla."
There's $100 bill in my wallet. Put that up for Priscilla." I go, "Just hand it to her." He goes, "No, I put it on this desk." He had a special hiding spot where he would lay it
she
where
knew about it.
Mom would not know, and Priscilla
funny.
would always get the tip, and it was always more than what she was getting paid from my mom. But my mom would just be flabbergasted if he knew how much they were paying Priscilla to do that. But okay, so that's what we brought coming in. Traditional views of marriage. Tell me, we did live with people before we got married. Talk about your roommates in college. What was that like?
Well, I only lived with my roommates in college, in that environment that was very controlled, and then we got married. So you
But
lived
you're a
on
pig,
your.
you said.
I was a pig. My first, if you ask Shelly, she'll tell you. The first, we were roommates 2 years, and then she graduated before I did, and that first year I was just a hot mess. Just a mess. But I think a lot of that was I had never lived on my own. I had never been outside where I had all this freedom. Mm-hmm. Not just freedom to throw my socks on the floor, but freedom I'd never had freedom where I could just leave and not have to tell somebody where I was going. That just didn't fly in my house. My mother knew where we were.
Well,
all
what's
the time.
funny is when you were in college, you still had to tell your mom where you were going, but.
Well,
for the most part.
you have to remember that we had, no cell phones. So you had I knew when my mother was going to call on a Sunday or when she was going to call on a certain day. And, you made sure that she knew what she needed to know. And you were there to get the phone call. But, I think I was just in such bliss about just throwing everything everywhere because I was so excited to just not be confined that I just let it all fly. And Shelly was already a junior, and so she was like, "You need to pick up your stuff." So the second year that we lived together, it got a little bit better. But honestly, I didn't live with other people like you did. I didn't live away. except for in college.
Well, when I was in college, and I had an assortment of roommates. The first semester I moved in, I roomed with a Dutch Malaysian.
Yeah, you have some really good roommate stories.
Freshman year.
Mine were just good girls.
Christian
good
was
friends.
his name. He worked in the cafeteria as a manager, and so he would always sneak food out of the cafeteria and bring it into the room. The problem with that was cafeteria food is not like in small cereal boxes, so he would bring like a 70-pound bag of Fruit Loops, and they would be sitting in the middle of the room.
Would you get ants and stuff?
He would just reach in there and eat out of the
That's
big old bag. It
gross.
was kind of gross. But the other thing that was funny about him is this was when bulletin boards, the precursor of the internet, and we had a modem in our room, and our phone would ring throughout the night, and you would hear the
we didn't have that. You were
and it would connect, and then he would be a bulletin board. He'd be like trading credit card numbers to people in Malaysia or wherever.
wow.
they are.
You were super fancy. We didn't have any of that.
Well, no. It was great. Here's the other thing. He also was on the swim team, and he thought that by being in a chlorinated pool that counted as a shower, and so he smelled of chlorine mixed with Fruit Loops. And then
That wasn't the driving gloves guy, right?
No. He decided to then build a motorcycle in our room.
Oh, that's
so it was like the oil and gas and all that kind of stuff.
So gross.
And it was so gross. And so that was the smells that I had going on in the room. And so I decided the best way, and I'm glad I learned this lesson as a college student. I learned the best thing to do at that point was flee. So I moved from Christian's room where the phone was ringing throughout the night. I never really got to sleep. So I found the most docile person on the floor, Robert Johnson, who is an accounting major, wore isotoner gloves and an overcoat, and he's in Naples, Florida now with two beautiful girls, and Bob's the nicest guy, and I went to like quiet Bob, and that was like a godsend. And then, Mark Koppel, my friend Mark.
But you and Mark were never roommates.
No, because we were friends. I realized early on that if you really loved somebody, what's interesting about, this is the Marry Your Best Friend podcast, and you are my best friend. And the whole thing is about being married to your best friend. And if you didn't marry your best friend, make your spouse your best friend.
But Shelley was my best friend.
I get it. And sometimes that's good for a roommate situation, sometimes it's not. Mark was a really good friend of mine, and I knew that if we roomed together, it would be the end of our friendship, mainly because his first semester, Mark always seemed to live by himself in college, and that was because he knew how to get rid of roommates better than anybody.
They'd move out on purpose.
He moved in. Oh my gosh, he moved in with hairy back guy.
Is that the guy?
Yes, he put duct tape on his back one night, and dude moved out the next day. But Mark always had a gift of getting rid of roommates. But so I had Bob. Bob was great. I probably drove him nuts because he went to bed at 10 o'clock, and I like to stay up till like 1 or 2. And then the other roommate I had.
But were you both tidy?
He was tidy. He was very tidy.
You're very tidy.
Well, I wouldn't say very tidy, but and then when I was roommates with Bob Phelps, I was roommates with Bob Phelps. Bob Phelps was a great roommate, except for the fact that I went to Pakistan one Christmas and came back, and he had moved out with all my stuff.
With all your stuff?
Like my stuff's gone. Like all my furniture and everything's like I was leaving the college at the same time, but I went back and I didn't realize that Bob, he and his wife were blessed with a child earlier than they had planned.
Yeah, but
they were not married yet. They got married.
Where did all your stuff go?
Well, he moved to an apartment because you couldn't.
Did he take all your stuff to his apartment?
You couldn't be going to Oral Roberts University and have an unmarried pregnant girlfriend. So they got married. They moved to an apartment. Like, come on, college furniture. What do you think? What do you think he stole? Like a chair that I found somewhere? I don't know,
but it was stuff that didn't come to us after we got married. I know that.
First off, everything that came to us when we got married, you got rid of anyway. You didn't like any of my stuff.
It was from India. It was a hodgepodge.
Anyway, so I came back from Pakistan. The roommate who I loved had moved out and taken all my stuff. But what's funny about all this is then right before we got married, I lived with 8 other guys in the greenhouse when I was with
Didn't you have
Jay,
other roommates before that?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because when I moved out to L.A., my roommate was Carmen, which is Mark's sister. She was older. She was a nurse. Beautiful condo in Marina Del Rey that I lived in. She was very neat. I had a very small.
She was grown up.
Yeah, she was a grown up. And then I moved in with those 2 ladies up in Malibu Lake. They were one was a very.
You always live with women, don't you?
I get along better with women than I do men.
Because I'm thinking now, like,
and if you're rooming with people, I think it's a lot easier to room with.
When you had your office in New York, and when you had your office someplace else.
I had an office in
Washington,
Dallas.
D.C.?
Well, yeah, I've had two female.
Yeah, and they were both, you had rooms.
Deanie in New York
Yeah.
is a
women.
clinical psychologist.
And people
she's a
come to me
doctor.
all the time and go, do you not have a problem with that? I'm like,
Well, first off, when I moved to New York, you were like, wait, I don't know how I feel about you having a female roommate. And I said, well, she teaches psychology
and she's a therapist.
at NYU, and she's a clinical therapist.
I was
And
like, how often can you go and stay with her?
And the best thing about Deanie was I would walk in the door, and she would look at me. She was so cute.
She's adorable, and I
I'd
loved
walk in,
her.
I'd walk in, and she would go, do you need a debrief? And most days I'd be like, no, I'm good. And then other days I'd be like, yeah, I think I do. And
She was lovely.
but
I loved
She got
her.
to know our kids, so she knew our
Yeah,
kids.
she was wonderful.
Issues and things of that nature. And then, but like Gail in New York, I could never live with Gail because she's my good friend. That would ruin a friendship. And then,
You and Gail
Linda,
would drive each other crazy if you were in the same space.
she was born February 26th, and I'm 25th, so we have a lot of similarities. But Linda in Washington D.C. Now she's fascinating.
And she was never there
No, 'cause
anyway.
she travels. But anyway,
And man, what an amazing apartment or a house. That was incredible.
yeah, she had a beautiful house. But what I was going to tell you though is the guys that I lived with. So Jay and Pete and all these guys, Daryl. There are 9 of us total that lived in this house that had 5 bedrooms.
Greenhouse, right?
Yeah, and then we had the other rooms made into bedrooms. Every guy had his own room. But the great thing about it was we divided tasks. Like every Thursday night we had a team.
And y'all voted on stuff. They had to vote on me.
Well, we did vote on you, and somehow
For
you made it.
real. That is not a joke.
Well,
they had to vote on me.
But the thing that I learned was there were 9 guys living in a house, and like everybody had an assigned role. So when I first joined the house, I was in charge of the pool. And if the pool turned green, I was in trouble. I had to vacuum the pool, clean the pool. One person was in charge of the front yard, one person in charge of the backyard. There were 2 shoppers that did the shopping.
That's
2
so
people did our
smart.
finances. No, it was smart for guys. Now, the big thing was
Smart for anybody.
But living in Los Angeles, it was fantastic because when we live in a big city, you can feel very alone and disconnected. Well, once every 2 weeks, you've cooked for the house, and the meal was at 6:30.
I vaguely
and if you
remember
were 15,
all this.
If you're 15 minutes late, it meant that your food could be distributed. We would keep it for 15 minutes, and then the great thing about it was when you have 9,
Y'all had a
Christian
lot of
guys,
rules.
But when you have 9 Christian guys that all went to the same church, I think the same church is what made it easy too, because we all had the same pastor. We had and several of the guys worked at the church, but we all got along. And you could change your job every 2 or 3 months, whatever it was. So, like, I was the shopper for a while, and each guy who had to cook would turn in their
Did you have to
menu.
request a
Yeah.
job
So if I'm
switch?
cooking, or people would just kind of say, "Hey, I'm kind of tired of doing the finances." But the good thing was, I mean, like I was not the financial guy. I was the shopper once. I did the backyard once. I did the pool all the time. But it taught a division of labor, which I really liked. Now, I do think that it's unfair in a marriage. Now, I will say in our marriage, you do pretty much everything in the house. I mean,
I'm sorry, what was that?
I just said you do everything in the house. You cook, you clean. You do bring in a maid every 2 weeks or so, and they
Not a maid, they're housekeepers, and they
housekeepers, and
come
there's a
in
whole
as a
team that
team,
comes
and they
in.
come lickety split.
Yeah, it's like the Oompa Loompas hit our house, man. And
they get it done quick,
and
and they
usually-
do all the stuff that I might not have time to. Well, they really scrub it good. And ironically, that's the housework that I like to do.
Yeah,
It's the picking up and the organizing. That's what I
Well,
am
and we-
not gifted in. And that's what I have to do
And I
before
don't
they
care
get
what
here.
they say about dogs that don't shed. They shed.
Oh, our
we've got
dog is
hair
the
around here and everything of
worst.
that nature. But how do you see our tasks being divided? That's my viewpoint.
I don't
is
see
you do
division
everything.
of anything.
You think you just do it all?
I don't think.
What about the outside?
I think that you get mad when you delegate and they don't do it. And so you do it, but you do it mad.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Today I felt bad because I didn't take out the trash. That's one of my things that I usually like to roll
You
up the
usually
containers.
do, because you're
But I
usually
was
home
taking
on
Julie
Tuesday.
into work today, and I kind of forgot about it or whatever. But
And I forgot about it too. So
I'm going to go through 2 different parts here. We are almost 30 minutes in, and we're getting into the content of this. So our task divide. A couple of things that I thought about when we were planning this homework or housework episode.
don't give me
One is our friend Rhonda, who was like a model mom to us,
Yeah.
and a hero to us. I'll never forget. So she worked. She was married. She worked, and I never forget her telling me this. She goes, "I don't need another man in my life. I need a wife."
I think every woman at some point in their life feels that way because they want somebody to do all the things that they do the way that they do it. Because a man is not going to do it the way a woman would do it. I don't care what you say.
Well, I still laugh at that today. She goes, I don't need another man. I need a wife.
It's true.
But then, like when we were watching Big Love and whatever, the Sister Wives and things of that nature, we talked, I'm sure most couples kind of had a conversation. What do you think about having another wife in this situation? And we would talk about who we would pick as our sister wife. And
I just want a Hazel.
Well,
I just want
you
Hazel.
love Hazel.
I just want, to come and
You love Hazel.
cook
Hazel
and clean.
Hazel is greater than Alice from the Brady Bunch? I would think so.
I don't know, man.
Hazel served Mr. Baxter
Hazel got in there and she was a little abrasive. You know, she set the rules more than Missy did, but Alice was a little more quiet.
Okay, so anyway, when we're talking about sister wives, one of the things we got to was, well, whoever the wife is, they got to do something that we don't do. So we talked about your cousin Jan because she did hair, and so we were like, oh, we could save money doing hair, and we talked about different friends who might be a
my
good
cousin
sister
Andrea, who is a great.
This is where I'm going back to. I have sister wife. Our number one pick was Andrea, and your description of Andrea. Now, Andrea is a beautiful blonde woman, but the reason why we wanted her in our marriage had nothing to do with her beauty or
that
her
girl
sweet spirit. It was Andrea cleans baseboards and stuff. Nanny taught her how to clean. So, like Nanny, which is your grandmother and her great grandmother, taught her how to clean like your mom taught you how to clean.
Yep, that girl can clean some baseboards. Let me tell you.
So, in John and Suzanne's best friend picking a sister wife, the number one attribute was a girl who can clean the baseboards and stuff.
We need the
more than sexy, more than take care of kids, more than cook.
Yeah. We need somebody
we even talked about something. We were like, hey, so and so gives a good back massages. Let's pick them. Nope. Baseboards. So baseboards. Andrea, we were a little sad when she got married because our fantasy of having a sister wife was then gone. Now she's got a baby and all that kind of stuff. Now, another couple that we're not going to mention, talking about housework and stuff, we're not going to mention this couple. They will go nameless. But her biggest aphrodisiac, her biggest turn on is the smell of 409. So we're talking one time with this couple in a group setting, and they were talking about what turns them on and stuff. And she says, "When I smell that 409, I know my husband's cleaned the countertop."
That's right. If she walks in the house and she smells that it is clean, because she is a clean freak. She wants it clean all the time.
You love candles, so we have like the trap candles burning or the
I need the good smell. I need the house to smell good all the time.
Her aphrodisiac 409, which is a lot cheaper than trap candles. And what's the other candle that I like? The Voluspa.
Yeah, Voluspa.
Yeah, $300 candle. And then another one is when we were at Christ Church years ago in Nashville. I'll never forget there was a special minister that came in, African American pastor, and he was talking about how men. And this guy would talk to Promise Keepers and stuff, but he would always say how men need to serve their wives better. And he said, I would compete with my friends to see who could serve their wife better than, and he would be ironing her clothing. He'd be making all the beds. I don't want you ironing
my stuff.
Well, he said, nobody's going to love their wife more than I love my wife. And so he saw service, and we've talked about love languages. He loved to serve his wife. I've never been blessed with that gene. And the last note I was going to say is... But
that is your love language, is acts of service.
Oh, I love acts of service. When
that
I walk
is your love language.
But you've also learned that like the when the cleaning crew is here on the day that I come back from a trip, it's like trifecta for you because it's like I walk in and the house smells clean, it looks clean, everything's done. And I go, wow, thank you, honey. And then we go through a couple of days of not messing things up before we do. But the last thing I'm going to mention here when it comes to housework and shared housework, some people are blessed with what I call the Lane Palmer gene.
Yeah, and they come into the marriage like that.
Lane Palmer.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Lane Palmer is our friend. Lane and also our Liz's husband Matt has a tendency to do this too. They can't sit still. And women, if you're single and looking for a man, find one of these because literally
they'll just do it.
Lane Palmer can't sit still, so he's always working. Their house looked amazing. His front yard looked amazing. Their, any decoration, stuff of that nature. His garage was organized. Our garage is not organized, but he had everything because he never could sit still. And like if he had a day off, what do I like to do? Sit around. I burned some wood yesterday.
Yeah, Matt calls me and says, or texts me, or Liz will text me and say, "Hey, Matt wants to know what you got done." This is funny.
Because he has a day off and has nothing to do. So he asks you, what task can he do for you?
So they were over here one night. We were just like porch sitting or doing something. I don't know. We had some kind of baby something, and they were over here hanging out. And we look out the window. You were gone. And we look out the window, Liz and I, and Matt is just on your mower. Just mowing the back. We didn't ask him to.
He's been at my house for parties, and I've fallen asleep in the hammock. And he like cleaned everything up, put the tables up, put everything up. It's like, that's the best.
But he's just like mowing. And she goes, "Did you ask Matt to mow?" And I'm like, "No."
Yeah, well, you've often said in the past that it takes a village to be your husband because like Roscoe would always bury the dead animals and kill the animals for us, and we trapped them. Mark McAllister would fix the cars up until John Andrew could fix the cars. Mark did everything. I
have a team of
There's
husbands.
Patrick Lima can pick up our kids when I can't. It's just you've got a group of men who can take care of things whenever I'm not around. Okay, so
when the yard is terrible.
So our producer,
Ed, please come and cut this bush.
Getting ready on this subject of sharing housework and task, gave me 7 articles of research.
Who did? I'm sorry, I blacked
our producer.
out.
Yeah,
your producer.
Yeah, of the show. Okay. Very talented young man. He's in his 40s.
He's a young man?
He's in his 40s.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, the producer gave me 7 articles. I'm going to let you pick one maybe, and I'll share it before we go to the next section. But 7 articles that I can pull info from. I'll tell you the source, and you can tell me which one you want me to read. So the best way to split chores to improve relationships. This is a magazine article from Time magazine.
Okay.
How an unfair division of labor hurts your relationship. That's from Greater Good. Okay. How an unfair division of labor hurts your relationships.
Am I supposed to tell you, like, read that, or just wait?
And if one of these topics sounds good to you, you can Google it and find it.
Is this what you called a game?
No, we're getting to the game. The University College London has an article on less than 7% of couples share housework equally. So that's University of London research. Number 4, 5 strategies for sharing household chores. That's from Merry Maids. So let me go ahead and tell you about Merry Maids real quick. Merry Maids, they're 5 strategies for sharing household chores. This is known as paid content, so you pretty much guarantee they're going to tell you to outsource some of it. Okay, so next one. How to split up chores fairly with your spouse or roommate. That's from National Public Radio. That's a pretty good source. Next one. How to split the chores with your partner minus the drama and fighting. That's from a TED Talk.
Ooh, I kind of earmarked that one.
And the last one is an expert guide to sharing housework with your partner. And that's from Good Housekeeping, which is a standard and conservative housekeeping. So which one do you like?
I like that one that was
the TED Talk. How to split the chores with your partner minus the drama and the fighting. Okay.
Because I don't like confrontation. I don't like fighting. And that is pretty much, honestly, that's why I do everything that I do, because I just don't want to deal with it.
We're not really talking about this. There are certain things that I would love to help with. Like I would clean up after you cooking. Because like if I go to somebody's house, like when we go to a party or when we go to, like somebody invites us over to the house. No, when we go to somebody's house, I love to clean up. I pick up, like when I'm at work or any social situation, I love to clean up the table.
Any place but at home.
Well, there's a reason for it. And this is not a trap that you're getting set into, but it's like, I love to clear a table. I love to go into the sink and clear everything off. But you have a gift of leaving a kitchen like a bomb has gone off.
That is so not true.
No. It's like if you get butter out and you're like using butter, most people then cut the piece off, put it in the pan, and then put the butter back in the refrigerator.
I might need it again.
Yeah. And then like all your spatulas, all the things, anything you kind of pull out.
I'm using it the whole time.
And then we sit down and have dinner. It's not one and done. So at the end of dinner, you go in and it looks like just this chaos. You know
what? Because I would like to eat too.
Well, okay,
I would like to eat a hot meal that I have just stood in there and cooked for a half hour.
There is a
that's why I leave it.
There is a process.
It's my process, and if you want to eat my food, then you'll do my process.
Okay, so we have sorted this out. I don't clean up after you.
All right.
Now, if you would clean as you kind of cooked, then I would be happy to do the dishes. But okay, TED Talk.
Because then you only have dishes. You don't have pots and pans.
All right, here we go. TED Talk. Every couple, young or old, wealthy or poor, faces a set of practical tasks they need to get done. be it managing finances, mowing the lawn, arranging a social life, or caring for elderly relatives. So it says, but as life gets more complicated and a couple's lives become more intertwined, the logistics burden tends to increase. Agree with all that?
Yeah, I'm still thinking about how I...
Okay. It's not a trap. Let it go. It says, in recent years, the idea of a 50-50 marriage in which couples strive to divide all tasks equally has caught our collective imagination. It says, while it's a noble idea, it's not feasible. Mm-hmm. It says, I have found that couples who negotiate logistics well, that is, they are happy with the division of labor, do not resent each other, and can still push forward. It says, here is a process you can follow to get to a deliberate division of labor that fits your couple's needs rather than a generic formula that doesn't. So, number one, it says list all your logistics tasks. So, make a list of everything that has to get done, from doing the laundry to cleaning to taking care of my mom to taking people to work, whatever it may be. Just it says, number one, list all your logistics tasks.
I can do that because I like to list.
You like to make a list. Number two, ask yourselves, what can we simply stop doing? So when you look at the list, go, okay, what on that list of has to get done can we just not do?
Like ever?
No, but I'm saying there are probably things that'll be on the list that you can sit there and go, I don't know.
Do tomorrow or not just today?
Just in general. Like,
just don't do it.
Like my mom, she doesn't eat lunch. Let's go think, I don't eat lunch.
She's 90.
I get it. But the whole thing is there it says, once you have your list of tasks, it's tempting to dive straight into dividing them. Before you do that, take a hard look at your list and say, what can we stop doing? Sometimes we do things because it is expected of us in our community, or perhaps more accurately, because it is what we imagine is expected of us. So, great example, two people who every morning make their bed. But maybe you don't have to make your bed every morning. If it doesn't bother you, if you're a type person that you're just going to get back in it at night.
I have a friend who does not make her bed because it literally does not bother her.
I get it. What I'm saying is,
I like to make my bed.
I do too. That's one of those things that you can eliminate possibly. Some people, they don't want to fold clothes. So what do? They've got a pile.
Like our daughter.
Well, the whole point of it is look at the list. Once you make the list, instead of just automatically divide and go, what can we eliminate?
I can't do that. I can't do it. I can't. It's ingrained in my head that I have to do these things.
I get it, but this is a TED Talk saying one of the things is to sit there and honestly ask, what can we get rid of? The next step 3, ask yourselves, which task do I want to own? So like there are certain
what do I want to do? Like what am I good at?
When you look at the task of all the things, you sit there and go, I really want to do that. Like if you love planting flowers.
Well, I like having flowers.
Yeah. But I'm saying, but there are certain things.
Caring for the flowers.
If we had a list of 40 things, you would find 5 or 10 things that you go, I really want to do that because you don't want me to do it, or it brings you joy. So
I like to vacuum. Like I love to vacuum and dust. I love to dust.
Some people like to shop. Now, if you are,
I love to shop.
I know, but some people love to grocery shop because it gets them out of the house. And
I don't mind grocery shopping. I like it.
Well, and another part of it is sometimes in marriages. To take 20 things and say, I'm taking 10, you're taking 10, that's 50-50. But then going shopping brings somebody energy. And let's say cleaning toilets sucks the energy out of somebody. So sometimes these tasks aren't even equal. But so one thing you enjoy doing is you enjoy vacuuming. So you would say, I want to own that. If I like to shop, then I would choose that one. Okay, so the next step, ask ourselves, what can we outsource? Which I think is important because there are certain tasks that I won't do. And if you won't do it, guess what? We hire somebody to do it.
And we're pretty good. We're pretty good at that. Like, let's just hire that and get that done.
Well, no, but it's like we had a tree branch fall down. Or
we could have struggled and tried, and it could have taken us 2 weeks. And
I made a phone call. The guy came out. His price was outrageously high. Who cares? Got it done. It's done. Our fence was up. Our horses are fine.
Yeah, it was blocking the driveway. We had to do it.
Okay, so the next question is ask yourselves, what can we outsource? That's important to ask. Now, number 5 is work out how you can split the rest. So once you figure out what you're going to outsource, once you figure out what you're going to eliminate, once you figure out what brings you joy, it says work out how you can split the rest. Once you have dropped the unnecessary task from your list, claim the things you love, and outsource some of the least favorite, you are left to split up the rest. While there is no one-size-fits-all solution to splitting the task, the way you go about it can make the difference between relationship harmony and conflict.
Okay, I am really good at making a house a home. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's cozy, it's lived in. Everybody wants to be here. Everybody wants to come porch sit.
Our house is not large.
No.
But it does feel homey.
It is super homey. I am not good at organization. Like everything has its spot. Everything has a general spot. and it may be stacked on top of, but it's in a cabinet. Okay?
You're a stacker.
I'm a stacker.
I'm a purger.
I got that from my dad. He was a stacker. I'm a stacker, but I stack because I don't know what to do with most of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You have so much stuff that comes to the house, and you're gone so much. I don't know what to do with it.
And
so
we've had
I
arguments
don't know
about
to
you throwing
throw it
things
away. Yeah. Either I throw away the thing you're supposed to have, or I, keep the crappy stuff that comes. But like our laundry room is out of control right now, and it's out of control for so many different
how many
reasons.
years have I not stepped into our laundry room because of this?
But hear me out on this. In my mind, I cleaned that laundry room one time, like took a whole weekend, and I cleaned it, and I was so, you didn't even notice. You didn't even say anything. You didn't notice, but you bitched about it for 6 months that it was not clean. So when I cleaned it, I was like, did you see the laundry room? You're like, oh yeah, it's nice. No. That was hard for me because that is not my gifting. I don't like it.
I haven't stepped in the laundry room in years. And
it is beyond bad right now because it started getting bad when we did
Do you think if I went into
when we redid the house, and that's kind of where everything that didn't have a home, where it went. And it's
do you remember
still
the 70s?
just a mess.
Do you remember the 70s booklet that was the Jesus going through your house booklet? And he would go to the living room and clean it out and go to the next room. And then there was
Lord, he'd spend a week in our laundry room.
There was one room that was too stinky. And he
That's
said, don't go in there. And then the whole thing was like, Jesus has the power to heal that part of your room. That's the secret part of this house. Like if I went into that refrigerator, what I find like
I don't want to go in that refrigerator. I'm scared to clean it out. Like I know it needs to be cleaned out, and I'm a little afraid. But here's the thing.
It used to be my beer fridge. And
now it's the scary fridge. If you cleaned it out because that's your thing, you love to clean out, you love to organize.
How many times have I ordered a 40-yard container just for us to
throw shit away? I know, but listen to me. If you
for
did
the record,
that,
I'm not the one who cusses in this relationship.
If you
that could be a whole episode.
Yeah,
I love Jesus, but I cuss a little.
It's even when I don't say it, it's in my head. So when you would clean out the laundry room because that's your love, that's what you like to do, then you would be so mad at me about why it was so dirty. And that's why I don't want you to do it, because I don't want the confrontation. I don't want the argument about how you're yelling at me about how in God's name did I let this get so dirty?
Yep.
Well, because now it's so dirty, I won't go in there.
You need to get it cleaned.
I know. And I was honestly, swear, hand to God, I was getting ready to do that when I broke my shoulder.
I was headed in the
laundry room.
The reason why I broke my shoulder was I was headed in the laundry room. I was going to clean the laundry room, and God bless me, I fell and shattered my shoulder. That's why the laundry room's not clean.
Yes, that is why.
So now I'm gonna be in trouble if I yell at you for the bad room.
You were going to be in so much trouble.
Okay, so let me finish it. Step 5 talks about how you can split the rest. So there's 2 techniques to splitting the task. Okay, the first technique, there's 2 main strategies. The first strategy is where you just divide the task, and each of you takes responsibility for those assigned to you. So whatever's remaining, you take 5, I take 6, I take whatever the numbers.
And it could be me mow the grass and you do the dishes.
Whatever it is, whatever the task is.
Stupid.
The second strategy is turn taking. So here you share responsibility for each task, taking turns.
You would yell at me every time it was your turn.
So it's your turn to go grocery shopping. It's your turn to do the dishes. It's your turn to make dinner. So there's 2 strategies. One is just divide the task and own them, or the second one is to share.
I think there's 3, and that's just let me do it.
Okay, well, as long as we're agreed on that. So so that's the TED Talk. Now
because it's just gonna make me sick.
Here's what I was gonna do. So you haven't seen that I've purchased this. Now those of you who are watching the YouTube video, if you're still there, I have the Fair Play deck. Okay,
this is the game.
Yeah, there is a book that was what cracks me up was the book that came with this. It was part of Reese Witherspoon's book club.
I see that it says Reese's
based on the bestseller from Reese's book club. I never really thought that Reese Witherspoon would have a book club, but this is the Fair Play deck, and this is a couples conversation deck for prioritizing what's important.
Can I just preface this by saying my husband loves himself a little card conversation game. I don't even know how many we have. It's kind of a little bit of a family joke.
No, but it's like I do like to have cards whenever we kind of sit there and plan things.
Thanksgiving,
things of that nature. But, okay, so
like
we're not going to go through all these, but I'm going to read a card, and you can say whether it's your deck or my deck. Okay, so the one way to play with this is like if you say that you currently do this, then I'll take it to you. If you
do it, then you get the card,
and then I get the card, and we'll see kind of what's equal, what's not equal, and then the whole plan of this is that then you can then negotiate and kind of say, well, I need to take some of those things away from you and things of that nature. So cleaning, does that go to me or you?
I'm down on that. That's a toilet, so that's mine. Okay, because that makes you sick.
Child care, helpers, kids. Who takes care of the kids? That's yours. Who does the dishes?
That'd be
you. Who does the dry cleaning?
Actually, you've been doing the dry cleaning
so
because
you are. Put that on my side.
Let's just talk about how anal you are about the dry cleaner.
Well, first off, people who travel.
We could do a whole episode on just John and his dry cleaning issues.
No, we had a dry cleaner that I really liked.
It took me about 6 years to find this dry
cleaner. But
Bolden's
went out of business after 60 years in Noblesville. They sold their building. They retired. They got out of the business.
How do you like your shirts, babe?
Well, the shirts that I travel with, I like to have folded.
So we do two kinds of shirts when we go
like
to the cleaners.
Western shirts with buttons on it. Those are on hangers because those hang in my horse trailer, or any other kind of sport shirt that I'm wearing that I'm not traveling with. But my button downs, I like to have pressed and folded. Nice laundered, folded in it with cardboard behind it, and in a bag, and the collars. Anyway, but the whole thing is that way when if I'm going out of town for a week, I grab the shirts, I grab the suits, the shoes, all the kind of stuff, and throw it in a bag. But not everybody knows how to do those shirts properly.
Do you educate them on how to do that?
I try to. Okay, next one. Garbage. Is that you or me?
I did it today.
Okay,
I think that's a shared chore.
Okay, we'll put that in the middle. Shared. Okay, groceries.
That's me.
Okay, home furnishings. Who does the home furnishings?
That's
me. Mm-hmm. Okay, house goods and supplies. Who's buying the toilet paper?
Oh, that'd be me.
That's you. Home maintenance. There's the faucet there.
I call somebody to do that.
Oh, so that's not going to me?
That's not going. It would be more me than it would be you. I have fixed the washing machine.
Okay, home purchase, rental, mortgage, and insurance, that kind of stuff.
You.
Okay, that's me.
Which, by the way, that needs
hosting. Who does hosting for parties and things of that nature?
I do what you tell me, but you invite all the people and say, "Hey, they're coming."
Okay, so
I need you to make
hosting
this
is in the middle, or is it mine or yours?
I think that's going to be in the middle.
Okay. Laundry. This is a good one.
That's me.
Okay, so there we go. Okay, lawn and plants. Who does lawn and plants? I do lawn.
I do plants.
All right, we'll do it in the middle.
Okay.
Okay, mail. Who picks up the mail and does the mail? Post office, that kind of stuff. Okay, meals, weekday breakfast. Who does weekday breakfast? Meals, kids, lunch, school. Who does that? Meals, weekday dinner. Who does that one?
Give me that.
Okay, meals, the weekend, hamburger, MCL cafeteria,
That's
the club.
Kind of you.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Unless you're out of town, but yeah, kitchen's closed on Sunday.
Okay, who does memories and photos? We don't have photo albums anymore. We do have Facebook and things of that nature. Who?
You're better at that.
Well, let's put that in the middle. We do memories and photos, both of us. Money manager. Who does our money manager? Neither one of us. Let's put that as that outsource.
Our accountant does that.
Yeah. Storage, garage, and seasonal items. Neither one of us does that either.
I think that's
a shared.
That's me.
No, you do storage. Okay, I'll give you the seasonal items.
I put them away. I put them stacked up in the garage that we can't walk in. Right. Okay.
Tidying up, organizing, and donations. Who does the tidying up, organizing when it comes to purging?
You give away everything.
Okay. Auto. Who takes care of the cars and all that kind of stuff?
Give me that.
You?
Yeah, because you know what I do? I call John Andrew.
Then that's outsourced.
Okay.
That's not going on you do not take care of the cars.
I call whoever needs to be taking care of it and get it.
I have like 18 cars. I should get 18 of those cards.
Okay.
Okay, birthday celebrations for other kids and stuff like that. Who buys the gifts for the other kids? That's you.
Yeah.
Always. Calendar keeper. You don't have a calendar, so that would be
so. It's right in there on my desk.
Okay.
If I didn't write down every place that everybody needed to be.
Calendar keeper's in the middle because I kind of keep a calendar.
You keep
cash
your own
and bills.
calendar.
Who does the cash and the bills?
That's you. Okay, it used to be me. Now I just stand with my hand out like Oliver Twist.
We did a whole
May
episode
I have some
on
more? What?
Yes.
What is that one?
Charity, community service, and
that's
good
you.
deeds. Okay, that's me. Now, civic engagement, cultural enrichment. Who takes? That's me. Electronics and IT.
Yours is all fun.
Electronics and IT.
That's John Andrew.
Yeah, we outsourced that to our son. By the way, I think
that's both of our boys.
We've shared this before, but when your kids are smarter than you at the networking,
they're so much smarter than us,
and they get mad at you as a teenager, they will lock you out of your own internet.
That's correct.
And then when you
We
pay
are
for all
not helping you anymore.
just yesterday, Art, we have a new fiber here at the house, and had to upgrade our Wi-Fi.
First time ever we've had like real Wi-Fi.
Extracurricular kids, non-sports. Who takes care of extracurriculars? The kids. That's you. Extracurricular kids, sports. Neither one of us because
They don't play sports.
Well, no, I take that because they did equestrian stuff and scouting. I'll take that one.
Oh, Julianne played soccer.
All right, put it over there. First aid, safety, and emergency. When the kid gets hurt, do they run to their dad or do they? You're taking that card. Okay. Packing and unpacking. Kids, look at you. That's you. Packing and unpacking. Travel. That would be me. Who packs for the trips? Who gets all the bags out? And who like...
What? Okay, we've talked about traveling with you and how to pack.
And I help pack. Don't I? Okay,
you just say, that's not going, that's not going, that's not going.
Points, miles, and coupons.
I'm the coupon queen.
God.
But you're you know what? But you're miles.
Okay. Returns and store credits.
Oh, that is totally me.
School breaks, planning kids' non-summer breaks like spring break, fall break.
You.
That's me. Okay, school breaks, kids' summer. Who plans the summer? That would have been you. School forums, kids, you. School plans. Oh, social plans, couples. Like who plans couples activities in our...
That's you, because anything that's like formally organized is you.
Transportation, that would be you.
For
Travel,
everyone.
that would be me. Tutoring and coaching the kids. All the time I did the homework. You got that one. Weekend plans. Who plans the weekend? No, I'm always... You're putting that on my stack, aren't you?
Because I'm putting that on shared.
But I love planning the weekends.
I like to tell you what I want to do, and I like you to plan it.
You got mad at me last weekend because I had a whole Saturday plan. You're like, wait, you didn't plan anything for us to do together?
You didn't even tell me that you were not doing anything with me.
So who does the
You
weekend
just
plans?
Disappeared on a Saturday.
So who does the weekend plans?
For themselves. That would be you.
Thank you very much.
Planning for your own self. While I stay here and do all these cards.
Okay, let's see how your stack's coming up. Okay, so the good thing is the shared task, bathing and grooming the kids. That would have been you. Grooming
would have been.
Grooming
I did
and wardrobe.
Julian's hair this morning.
There you go. Grooming and wardrobe, player one. Oh, this is for, like, who takes care of the grooming and wardrobe for you? You do. Who does the grooming and wardrobe for me? That would be, I do my own grooming.
Yeah, I wouldn't dare pick anything out for you.
Who did the bedtime routine with the kids? That's you. Who took care of the birth control? That would be me.
That would be me.
I had a surgery.
You had a surgery
before I was Catholic. I had a surgery.
You had a surgery after our doctor looked at you and said, "John, your wife is too old to be taking birth control. You were
on for 25 years.
You need to take responsibility."
I had the snip before I was Catholic, and my next wife's going to make me get the reversal. I took a screenshot of that billboard that said reversal vasectomies. I took a picture of it. Just in case Jennifer
Keep
Garner
going.
Okay.
Let's see. I think we can do the whole deck. Keep going.
Clothes, accessories for kids. That's you. Dental for kids. I'll give that one to you because never mind. Diapering, potty training.
Shut up. You shut
Diapering
up.
and potty training. That would be you. Estate planning and life insurance. That's me. Friendships and social media for the kids. Ooh, I was really the one who did friendship and social media. You're on social media too much. Health insurance. Me. Parents and in-laws calling. Who calls the parents and the in-laws? Who takes care of the pets? Okay, if you're not on Facebook or if you're not on YouTube right now watching what Suzanne's doing, she's grabbing all these. Who did the school service projects with the kids?
That would have... Well, no, you did.
School transition.
No, that's me.
Kids. Who handles that?
That would be me.
Homework projects.
Me.
Medical and living. Medical and healthy living.
Anything
for the kids.
medical's me.
Morning routine for the kids.
Me.
Okay, this is player one, player two. Who takes care of self-care for player one? Who takes care of your self-care? It's got running shoes on there and stuff like that.
Running shoes is not self-care for me.
I've got self-care for myself. Okay. Special needs and mental health for kids.
Oh, that would be both of us, I think.
That is both of us. Okay.
Yeah.
Teacher communication. All those times I talked to the teachers, I didn't know their names.
That would be me.
I knew Mrs. Sizemore.
You knew Mrs. Sizemore because she was cute as a button.
Oh my gosh, I love her.
And Jadaniel wanted to marry her and kept her picture in his room until he was in the 11th grade.
He's single. Maybe.
Actually, I think when we cleaned his room out at the renovation, I think I found her photo.
Oh, he loved Mrs. Sizemore. She came to his Eagle Scout.
She did. She came to his senior party.
Okay, spirituality. Who leads the spirituality?
I think that's both of us.
All right.
Even though I have a constant swear.
Showing up and participating with the kids. That would be, I always tried to be here. That's
what is this?
Showing and participating at the kids' activities. We did that both. That's both of us. I was there all the time. I managed my travel schedule to be there for 4-H, for Boy Scouts, everything. Put that in the middle. Put that in the middle. I showed up.
You showed up.
Who writes
when
the
it was
thank you
convenient.
notes?
You know what? I'm terrible at
You
thank
are.
you notes.
Okay. Values and good deeds. Who kind of did that for the kids?
I think that's
of
both of us.
Okay. Partner coach. Who's a good partner coach here?
I don't even understand that.
All right, I'll put that in the middle then. Middle of the night comfort. If a kid wakes up in the middle of the night, who
That'd
are they
be me.
looking for? Yeah, it would be. Ooh, who's in charge of the marriage and romance in our family?
I think that's shared responsibility.
Do you? Do you? Are you the romantic in the relationship? Are you the one that curries the romance? in this
Okay, I'm
partnership?
not the romantic. Let's just say that I'm not the mushy one. You're the mushy one.
Okay. I'm going to keep going through this deck. You want to go to the end? Okay, here we go.
ahead.
Magical beings, kids. That didn't make sense. Well, these are all magic cards. So these are like the special things. So informal education kids, like teaching them how to ride a bike.
Oh, give me that.
Our daughter never learned how to ride a bike. And
Well,
grab
there
that
are
card.
extenuating circumstances to that.
Holidays. Who makes the magic at the holidays?
Thank
That'd be
you very much.
You do amazing job at holidays.
Thank you.
Birthdays and holidays. Holiday cards. Who does our holiday cards?
That was always your thing. I just had to lick
then I
it
quit.
and send it.
Well, but put that as nobody. Who talks to the kids about the hard questions in life?
Give me that. That's shared.
Who does all the gifts for the family? Like
That's
when I
me.
the kid, like all the Christmas.
That would
shopping?
be me. What'd you get for Christmas?
Who does the
Fantastic.
gifts for the VIPs in our relationship? That'd be like
Who are VIPs?
parents and think that's you.
That's me.
Who
if there's anything that's anything
who gives
shopping
little
that
gestures
people-
of love to the kids, like little note,
That's
I love you
you.
and things. Okay, fun and playing with kids. Who loves to get on the ground and play with the
Give me
kids? That'd
that.
be you. Who takes care of all the extended family, like my brother when he comes,
and your mother
and my sister.
your sister,
Like my sister
and my
came
mother.
here. My sister came here. Her entire family came here. They never talked to me about it. It was all planning through you. So you do take care of my own family.
Well, you know,
Okay.
you have
Who
a
is the
busier schedule.
disciplinarian with screen time with the kids and things of that nature?
I think we both kind of dropped the ball on that one.
Out on that one. Okay. Birthday celebrations. Planning the birthday celebrations for your kids. Okay. Here we go. Player one. Who takes care of the adult friendships in your life? That's you.
That's me.
And then for me, player two, do I take care of my own adult friendships?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's important.
You
I think the great thing
absolutely
about these
do.
cards is that out of all these tasks, there's a realization how important it is to maintain adult relationships outside.
Oh
of
my
the family.
gosh, I couldn't make it without my.
Watching the kids, you always
bubble.
watch the kids. Aging, taking care of aging.
It's a
and
lot of
ailing-
kids, though. I
know,
mean,
I
our
know.
kids are grown up.
I know, but the point of it. Okay, here's a wild card: aging and ailing parent. So, not, like these wild cards aren't for everybody, but like you get the aging parent because you take care of my mom. So,
I know, but you are really good with her.
Okay,
and
that's
when
a
you're
shared task. Put it
home,
right here.
when you're home, I get more of it. We'll just put mine
now,
closer.
the reason why they have these wild cards are like when you have this situation, it's a wild card. Like this is not something you planned on. Like we didn't plan on my mom living here with us,
True.
but now that we have her, here's another one. That I think when you hold these cards and you discuss them as a couple, if you're dealing with this, then you need to have some grace. So like this one is dealing with a death in the family. You know, so like we'll put this one as both of us, but like when you lost your dad or when I lost my dad, you know, there's,
You
there's
were.
certain grace.
I gotta give you props on that. You were absolutely invaluable when I lost my dad because you took care of everything that I
Well, that was extenuating
emotionally
situations. You had
could
to
not
take care of
do
it. Yeah.
because you're just so much better at it than I am. I was so locked up and just couldn't do it. Oh, you're going to take that?
I'll take the card. Okay. First year of an infant's life. I mean, because I was pretty amazing when.
Have I told this story about you gagging the very first time that you changed a diaper
first off,
and then you never changed a diaper after
People don't
that?
tell young parents, especially dads, that baby monitor, like the one time you actually go to take care of your kid, that your wife is listening to you on the baby monitor.
Yeah, to
So
see if you drop him or something.
I didn't drop him. I just
No, you
okay. I have a gag reflex. Okay.
It was so bad.
No, when you go through the birthing classes, they don't tell you that the poop is like yellow
It
and
was
it's like
so much little tiny.
and I'm trying to make sure he doesn't pee in my face and stuff. Okay, glitch in the matrix daily disruption. That's kind
don't
of
know what that means.
Okay, home renovation. Who would take care of the home renovation?
That's you, 100%.
Okay,
Well,
serious illness, like this is like if somebody's dealing with serious illness, that's a wild card. We'll put that over there. Another wild card for job loss and money problems. Another wild card for new jobs. So like if you're facing a new job, I have to realize that that's a lot and take some things off your.
And we've done that before. Yeah. And you
when
you
we're
said,
moving,
when are you quitting? Are you coming back?
Yes.
When I went back to teach preschool, you were
like,
not excited.
I know this card is on moving. So like when we moved before, like from
times.
Oregon to Texas, the easiest way for me to handle that was to put you on a plane and the kids on the plane and say, go to Texas and I'll pack up the house.
I never did.
And I didn't
one
do
time I tried to move, and that was when we moved from Nashville back to Texas.
Okay, so to end the show, let's take your cards and let's take my cards. Okay.
And then these are our shared
Those
cards.
are shared cards, so those don't really count. But okay, so your stack, let's just put it right next to my stack. Let's just look at this real quick. So yeah, your stack is it's
double.
Well, almost double. I think
because we have shared cards.
Yeah, we do have shared cards. So if you see these, this is Suzanne's stack. This is my stack. Now, the whole important thing about this is what this game is recommending is that when you have these cards, and if there are certain things that you don't know who should take care of, that you should negotiate that. But we should revisit this every now and then and go, okay, I'm in charge of, let's say, taking care of the cash and the bills.
But I used to do that. You only took that back over in COVID.
Yeah, but I'm saying there are certain things that you might want to take over out of my stack and things of that nature. So looking at your stack, do you think we're unfair?
Well, honestly, a lot of this stuff isn't really. I mean, first year of our infant's life. That's
take
long
a lot
past.
of the kids out, but still, the whole point of it is, do
you
you think that our sharing is unfair right now?
Yes.
You wish that I did more?
I wish that you did more without consequence.
Where's the card on podcast producers? Where's the card? I do a lot of stuff around here that is not in the deck.
You do. You absolutely do. And I think I do too. I mean, we have things that normal people don't have.
We do. Okay.
So
thanks for sharing literally a little over an hour talking about housework. Is this a chore to you to do a podcast, or do you enjoy it?
I like it.
I like it.
I don't like it when you say at 10 o'clock or something, hey, let's do this. And I'm tired because I like to check out early. Yeah, but
it is dark outside.
It wasn't dark when we started, though.
No, but anyway, I enjoy this time with you. I don't view this as housework. I view this as romance, and I view this as what are my other things on my card.
Because you're the romantic, you're the mushy one.
Yeah. I'm the girl in our relationship.
You definitely are.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you saying that. Okay, so here we go. Next time. You ready to know what our next subject is? Yes, sir. Do you have anything else you want to say about housework before we hang up? Hang up. Terminate the podcast.
I don't know. I just think that this was,
This will lead to more conversations.
I don't want to place blame, and I don't want to say that. I don't want to keep. This is my issue. My issue is that I have a hard time, and I will admit this, that I have a hard time not keeping score.
Mm-hmm. You do keep score.
And I don't want to.
Like, why did he get to do that on Saturday morning and I had to do this here at the house?
Yeah.
Why did he get to do that and I didn't do here?
And I shouldn't look at it that way. I know I shouldn't look at it that way, but that doesn't make me feel any less like I don't. Mm-hmm. We used to teach this marriage class, or lead it. I guess we didn't teach it at church, remember? And this was always a contention of conversation, is that we would talk about keeping score and how that was bad. And
you keep score financially, though, too.
I keep score. I keep score all day, all the time in my head about everything.
We talked about
and it's just,
if I spend $500 on something, then you go, "Well, I get to spend $500 on something."
I want to not be that way, but it is just really hard.
But if I go out with Scott,
I like to win, and so I keep
night.
Score all the time in my head. Like it's a running. My head is
here's
so
the thing.
loud.
You went on the cruise with your girlfriends, and then when I called you to ask if I could go on a birthday trip with my friend, you're like, absolutely, because you were keeping score.
Yeah, because you then deserved a trip because I got a trip.
But that's not the way it should be.
I know it's not the way it's supposed to be, but my head just does that. Doesn't mean it's right.
Okay. Well, I will tell you on the next episode. You ready for it?
Yeah, go lay it on me.
Okay, well, join us on the next episode of the Marry Your Best Friend podcast, where one of us loves to argue. We're going to hear about reasons why couples argue, things that couples argue about, and how to handle arguments in your marriage. Which one of us loves to argue?
I'm not even responding.
You're not? That's good, I guess. All right, like us on Facebook. Share the link, marrybestfriend.org. Email us. Thanks.